Still going live, still going live. I am live. You might want to fast forward it. If you are wandering around and run into this video, you may want to fast forward it about 5 minutes before the actual playing and instructing begins. It takes a while for everybody to load into here. Link to join. Edit the page. I always forget to hit some button as I'm busy posting our website link. Link to join. Clink, clink, Command V. Put this down. Hit Shift. Link. Edit. Edit. Adjust the settings to open in a new window. Update. Update. So now that should get everybody allowed to log in. And let's adjust our view of me. And let's wait a minute for everybody to get logged in. And yeah, we probably will only wait another minute or so. I'm running late. They'll be mad. Okay, here we go. We're going to start. So on Fridays, we do all 4 levels. DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. That's where all of the resources are posted. We have a 4-level system. Level 1 is 1-chord songs and learning to play tablature, learning to hold your guitar, learning to read sheet music, learning to tune your guitar. Basics everybody needs to know. That's level 1. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome in. Level 2 are 2-chord songs. That's where we learn to get back and forth between all the important chords on guitar, practicing getting back and forth between those two. Continuing work on tablature, and then introduction to tough acts, playing chord and melody together at the same time. It's also where we begin to put in the pieces and parts to play fingerstyle guitar. And then the third, level 3, is where we take the shackles off. Whatever the chords are, They're all public domain songs, so they're ones we don't have to worry about leaving them laying around on the internet. They're probably, for the most part, songs just about, not everybody, but lots and lots of people know the songs at level 3. The melodies are more interesting. The sheet music is more interesting. We incorporate the expectation on level 3 that you're playing all the chords, that you're playing melody effectively, and that tough acts or chord melody playing is coming along just fine. And then on level 4, it is what it is. So those will be modern songs that are mostly, for the most part, under copyright. They are pretty challenging. They're usually more difficult to play than most people play guitar. They are somewhere on that process between fingerstyle and classical. Today's piece, a level 4 piece, is a classical piece. And we've used all of the techniques that we can, both from all the different genres of playing guitar. We don't use all of the techniques in guitar, but we use lots of them. Any techniques that are specific to electric guitar, we don't do those. So we minimize the amount of bending of notes that we do, minimize the amount of hammer-ons and pull-offs, in the sense that you just can't hear them effectively very well on most acoustic guitars. And so that's where we're at. We're going to play all 4 levels today. We'll just play them in order: level 1, then level 2, then level 3, then level 4. I will tell you, level 3 and level 4 were very challenging. Last night we did a lot of work on the level 4 song, and it turns out it is hard. It is hard for me, and we'll do what we can with it today and see if we're getting any better. So we'll start off today with level 1. The song is Frère, Jacques. It is arranged for, last week we did Brother John, which is the same song, but it's arranged in a manner where we learn to read tablature. Frère Jacques, in first position, we learn to play just in index, middle, ring, and pinky here on the first position. This song actually doesn't use the pinky, but it does get you here. The chord for Frère Jacques is A, so index finger here, middle finger here, ring finger there, and you leave the bottom string open. It's hard to see that with the lighting the way it is, but that's the A chord, and that's the chord we're going to use. We only strum from the 5th string down. We make sure the guitar is in proper playing position. we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. That's your song. That's how it goes. Okay. And if you were singing and using chords, that's how you would probably attack it. First way was straight, just thumb strum. Second way was arpeggio picking. So we're just taking the same chord, but instead of playing everything at once, we're dividing it up into its constituent parts. Next level on our sheet music would be playing melody. This is what level 1 players get started working on and are expected to be focused in on getting really good at. This song uses a lot of 2s, which will always be your middle finger, and a few 3s in it, so that will be your ring finger. And you're reading the guitar melody line from the sheet music. And we start with the 2 on the 3rd fret. And let's go from there. 1, 2, 3. I said 2 on the 3rd fret. I meant 2nd fret on the 3rd string is what I should have said. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 again. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Let that ring out all the way. Don't let up on that finger until the guitar is completely stopped singing. That's your melody line. That's more important than it seems at first. When you are beginning playing and you're learning to read tablature, that's a lot. But at some point, you're like, that doesn't seem like a very in-depth or deep sound to my guitar. What's going to happen is as we improve in our skill set, then we start adding in chords underneath that melody. So the melody is usually the top, the highest pitch sound, and then we come in with the melody, or I'm sorry, the chords underneath the melody that are lower pitched, and then it fills out the overall sound. So on level 1, I don't really expect you to be able to play the chord melody or tough axe line. I always present it to the students so that they can see what it looks like, see and hear it, and see what I'm doing. But obviously, if you're sitting there and you're like, yep, I totally got this, I'm ready to tackle it, let's give it a try. Start with the A chord. It's finger style, so we almost always start by holding the chord. And then we're going to grab the correct strings, and we're going to have to modify this chord as we go through measure 1 by lifting up the ring finger and then putting it back. And then as we go through the rest of the song, we'll be making some minor modifications to that A chord so that we can play the song without singing. Okay, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. again, I'm just holding onto that chord and letting the guitar finish ringing out. If you have a particularly good guitar, it may ring for a real long time, and then you just take your hand underneath the bridge, roll it up, and get the strings to stop. That way, don't just flop down on top of them, but stop them in a little bit more sophisticated way so that it ends up sounding fine to your audience. That's the three systems that we have in play. One is playing chords, one is playing melody, and one is playing chords and melody together at the same time. If you have a friend who's a guitar player, you can have them play chords and you play the melody, and you will become a better musician because you're playing with somebody else and you have to stay in proper timing, whatever that timing happens to be. So you can also play this sheet music as duets. So there's actually 4 ways to play this music on here. And technically there's even a 5th way, in the sense that when you are working on chords, there's strumming and there's plucking, and those two are completely different sounding approaches to the same exact activity. So there's really almost a 5th way to add in uh, dimensional sound ideas into something that's a relatively simple song. Not that nothing is easy in music. There's always something that's going to eat your lunch, and so we take this basic song and then we try to find as many ways to present it as possible, and we just ran through a bunch of them. All right, let's move on. Level 2. Song for level 2 is going to be Deo, the Banana Boat song. I happen to know Elizabeth, who's hanging out over there in the chat room, has this memorized. And so she's going to play it way better than I am. And let's go through the 2 chords that we're working on here. The first chord is D. So it's... and you have met these, would have met these in level 1. Index on 3rd string, 2nd fret, middle finger right below that on the 1st string, and then ring finger out here, 3rd fret, 2nd string, that's the D. And then you're going to be going from that D chord to A chord, which is index, middle, ring, same as we just had on the last song. And then to get back, lead with your index finger and have it. Don't do that. Lead with your index finger down and then do that. Okay, so index finger, there's your D chord, there's your A chord. D, A, D, A. And when you're switching back and forth, this activity of sitting around, just sit around, not even necessarily needed to play, get from one chord to the other, teach your fingers the correct way to do it, follow your index finger around so that it gets where it's just super comfortable doing that. You don't really have to think about it. Your fingers know what they're supposed to do. That's what we want to do. Okay, there's D to A. Okay, I'm terrible at singing, and I'm under the haze of Harry Belafonte, but we'll try it anyway. 1, 2, ready, go. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home. Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me wanna go home. And then you'd repeat the song. The repeat there says to go back. You don't really want to listen to me sing, and so so that gives you a sense of how the song's supposed to go and how to get from D chord to A chord back to D chord. Let's run through the melody. The nice part about level 2 is the melodies start to get a little bit more complex, and they also, because of 2 chords, they have a tendency to stay down here in the first area, the first position. Now this song is going to jump up to 5, and we're probably going to go use our pinkies for that. And then on page 2, they go all the way up to 10, right? So we're going to have to be mindful of where 10 is. Make sure that we get that in. And when you're in 10 and you do follow your finger down 10, 9, 8, 7. You're at 7th position here. Maybe makes sense to slide up to 7th position. May only also make sense to slide up to 5 and then have your pinky reach to 10. Both of those are probably legitimate solutions to the same problem. But we do have a situation in this song where there's a 5 followed by a 10, right? And somehow we've got to figure out, is it going to make more sense to reach to the 5 and then jump up to 7 so our pinky's on 10? Or should we just go to 5 and then reach to the 10? This is usually inferior. We usually don't want to reach if we don't have to, because we're going to miss. But that's what we'll be figuring out as we go through the song. Let's start at the top. I'm going to start on 3 of the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just missed it, and it's something that you do want to do. You want to have your pinky, the 4th string, 4th fret, your pinky, that is going to come up a lot. And so that's one of those where you want to just continue to work on that until that becomes normal. You don't want to reach your ring finger up to play 4s. It will pull all of the rest of your fingers out of position, and you'll be likely to miss more notes by doing that than just going with your 4 pinky on your 4 of the 4th fret. Let's start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it again from the top. And 0 at the end is probably entirely unnecessary there, but something to do. All right, so that's how we play melody. Now we know how to play chords. Let's play the tough acts together. Level 2, that's where we start playing tough acts, and that's where we start trying to put this stuff together. And probably check the video from earlier this week in terms of just details on the specifics of this. But basically, we're going to hold the chord. We're probably going to be modifying the chord as necessary as we go along. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. again. Let the ring out. There we go. That's pretty nice. Okay, that's a lot of work. Probably more work than the song deserves, but it's okay. Let's see. It looks like I'm sitting at 0 people hitting in the room. I wonder if I got locked out. No, just a weirdness in YouTube. All right. So this probably needs to be fancier. I'm going to put fancier ending on it. And someday I'm going to put a fancier ending on it. There we go. Okay. There's Banana Boat song. Let's go on to Colorado Trail. It's a book 3, level 3 song. At level 3, we spend an awful lot of time talking about more advanced activities and more advanced skill sets. And so that's what we're doing. That one is not easy. Reminds me to practice the melody. Remind me to practice the melody. Elizabeth, you should practice the melody more. That is not an easy song. It's getting the rhythm right, I think, is very challenging. It's just in 4/4, but boy, you still want to try to get a little bit of reggae feel into it. And it's definitely a challenging piece of music. All right, Colorado Trail. This is one of my favorite songs ever. It's got a C chord, a G chord, an A minor chord, and that's it. Now, on your sheet music, you show a fancy A minor in the 2nd fret, which is true. Okay? But when you're singing an instrument, you can just use a regular A minor. Okay, let's run through the melody, run through the chords. C chord, G chord, A minor. That's it. That's all of the chords. Okay, let me give you. I'll sing a verse or 2 of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Eyes like the morning star, cheeks like a rose. Laura was a pretty girl, everybody knows. Weep all ye little rain, wail, winds, wail. All along, along, along the Colorado Trail. Let's do it one more time. 16 years she graced this earth. All of life was good. Now my love lies buried neath the cross of wood. Weep all ye little rain, wail, wind, wail. All along, along, along the Colorado Trail. Okay, really quite in my vocal range. Almost sound like I could sing, which I can't, but it was not terrible, or at least from my ears. Okay, and you gotta know, I have sung some pretty terrible songs. All right, so that's how it goes. Those are your four chords, three chords, and now let's move on to the melody. This one is again another one. Not unlike the song we just played, it has a tendency to jump up here and then mostly be down here, and then it kind of jumps up when you're least expecting it. So do know page 2, right there at measure, is it 13? 13, you're going to go up and you're going to hit this 8. Okay, so you got to know where your eighth fret is just to be ready for that. Let's give it a try. Our first little bit here, we're going to hit a couple threes and a 5. So I'm probably not going to start down here in first position, because then I'm going to have to stretch way up here to 5. I may just start up here in third position. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Last time. 3, 4. I messed up the melody. Let's start again from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2nd inning. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nice melody, really nice melody. If I'll play it right, if I would stop messing it up, I would probably have a nice song on my hands. Okay, that's the melody. So again, we're working. The kind of fun part about it is you could oftentimes go from a three to a 5 and slide it up, and you sound cool, or go from a 5 to the 8. Right, and get yourself a little bit of zip in there, makes it sound kind of cool. All right, let's go through, do the tough acts. Okay, this is not the hardest part of the song, oddly enough. Okay, so nice and slow, C chord to get started with, and on all of these, because it's a sad ballad, I'm almost for sure going to go with thumb down rather than plucking. I think you can, both of those have their merits, but in this case, I think just getting as much soft, beautiful, lilting tones out of your guitar is going to make the song come alive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. One more time. Second ending. Phew. Hey, Serge. Good to see you. Thank you. Tough, right? Tough. Full brain power. All of the things caving in on top of there really runs you out of the runs you out of your element a little bit, and feels nice and soft and smushy. I notice, as I'm doing my thumb, that if I get a little bit ahead of myself and just let my mind lapse for a second, all of a sudden I'm making mistakes. So playing that style of music takes your full concentration. Usually you're either debating about thumb down or forefinger plucking, and or some subset of those two ideas, some modification of those two ideas. It can be really beautiful, but it can also be incredibly difficult. And so there's that. Now, last piece of information on this, and not all of the things in level 3 have this, but I did do a full-blown fingerstyle arrangement of this song in measure in the arpeggio line. And so typically we use arpeggios as fill when we're using chords and we're singing and we want it to sound fancier. But in fingerstyle, we actually use arpeggios as extra pretty notes in between the main melody. And with this one, those carets above each of the notes in the arpeggio line, the carets are the melody note, and then in between those, I'm just putting in arpeggios. Okay? This is way beyond me. Just figured out the arpeggio is on the melody. You are not. It's not way beyond you, Elizabeth. You're a legit player. So Elizabeth knows way more about music than I do. So it's nice to have her maybe have a little light bulb come on every once in a while. All right, grab your C chord. Let's get started with this one. And we'll be working at hitting those notes that are with carets just a tiny bit louder than the rest of them. Okay, from the top, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. more time. Second ending. That's enough of that song. That's a good song. A good song. Hard, different things on there in different spots, right? So no matter what style of guitar you're playing, the all of that give you a little bit of a challenge. And, when you're brand new and you're trying to get your C chord on, G chord on, an A minor chord, those can be a big fight. Getting up, having that 8 sneak up on you in the middle of measure 13 there, that can be tough for melody players. And of course, the tough acts and legitimate finger style arpeggios are always really challenging. So there you go. That'll keep you busy. That'll keep you out of trouble for a little while. Let's take a look at our final song for today, and that's the Estudio in E minor by Tárrega. And again, with the level 4 songs, less instruction and more just hacking our way through it and seeing if we can't possibly turn it into something beautiful, and playing it at whatever level makes sense, and knowing level 4 you never are finished with. You just are never ever mastering a song necessarily. Probably master 3 or 4 in your life, right, to become part of your permanent repertoire, but for the most part there's always an opportunity to get better at level 4. With this one, we're going to be working with this E minor chord, but the truth is, with these, the chord shapes are a whole lot less important at this level than whatever shape we need to do to be successful on the guitar melody line here. The entire thing is an arpeggio for the most part. And so we just got to get our fingers in the right spot. So let's go through, we'll walk through the whole thing once, and then we'll go back through and play it the way it's written. Okay, so first measure, ins and outs. And then a 3, another 3. This is an A minor, but it looks more like a D7. Okay, then you sit here, and your thumb's going to hit the 5th string. Slide your 2 back. This bar here, you have to do a bar on 2, pinky on 5, ring finger on 4 in order to pull this off successfully. Oops, sorry. Let me get my bar all the way up. Middle finger's going to get this 3, and you're going to lose your pinky, lose your middle finger, and then pinky up on 7, thumb on the 6th string. Start the song over at measure 5. Thumb on the 5th string. Bar on 2, pinky on 5, ring on 4, middle on 3, lose the middle, outs, 2, 3, or as Elizabeth says, put it up here, or possibly just roll the chord. that's what I want to do today. Okay, so that's the first 8 measures. We'll play through that twice. Okay, then measure 9. Similar ideas, but a little bit different melody. Okay, outs and ins. 3, 7, bar on 5, and then leave your 5th string open. All 5s. Pinky on 8. Go down to the. You're gonna grab a. You're gonna feel like you're grabbing a D7, but you're really just grabbing a 2-1-2. It's really an A minor is what it's really doing here. But your thumb's gonna drop up to the D string. 3. Hardest part of the song. Slide this up to 3 and these 2 to 5. Your index finger is going to go up to 3 and leave your ring on 5. Pull back to 3. 7. Then we're basically going to start measures 13 is the same as 9. I'm sorry, same as 1. Ugly bar chord here. Gosh, let me get it right. And then we would repeat that section a second time. And then the last time, the very last chord we do, we're going to do that harmonic on there, lightly touch over the 12th fret wire, and get your harmonic in there. It's going to sound pretty just how we end it. Okay? All right. Hopefully I can play it. Hopefully you can play it. Hopefully everybody can play it. And let's give it a try. From the top, all the way through, as written. 1, 2, 3. Can't remember. Did we play it twice already? I can't remember. Let's play the top. Let's play 1 through 8 one more time. I can't remember if we did the repeat already. Let's go from 1 to 8 as if it's the second time through, and play. 9. Didn't get it. I missed it. That's it. That's the song. Beautiful. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you're good at playing guitar is a meaningful part of your life. I can tell you it is extremely difficult, and I spend a lot of time working on it, and I still have tons and tons to work on. But we have really nice songs in the DenverGuitarOrchestra.com, and you should go check them out. And level 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully, the sheet music there will keep you busy for a while, and hopefully it makes sense to you. And that's it. That's what I know for today. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's way over temperature here in Denver, and so hopefully wherever you are, it's much cooler. And Elizabeth, thanks for being here. Thanks for having Deo memorized. That's very exciting. And whoever else is holding up here in the widget, glad you've been here. And I'm going to end the stream and end my week and go out and do nothing for a little while. So have a great night, and I'll see all of you later this week. And yeah, Elizabeth, we will do more of that. That's beautiful stuff. We got plenty more guitar stuff to do, classical guitar stuff. So we'll get in as much as we can. Have a great week. End.